What? We're live? We are? Okay, I guess we're live. Let's try that again, guys. Technology. Technology. Well, today is lunchtime, story time, funny time. You know, I have opportunity to sit here and eat my lunch with y'all, share my good, good, yummy goodness food, and a story share with y'all. I'm at one of my favorite delis. They have really awesome Wi-Fi. Talked about them before. I even got a little card. They have fried chicken, fried livers, fried gizzards, fried chicken fingers, grilled, a lot of fried stuff, grilled stuff, barbecue. That's what I got today. They have old fashioned fried cornbread. My dad used to love that. He used to love getting it here. Rice, corn slaw, coleslaw, pies, cakes, assorted cobblers, chicken salad sandwiches, chicken salad, pork sandwiches, you name it. Chicken tenders, they got it. That's every day. So on Mondays, I have baked chicken. Tuesdays, beef tips. Thursday, baked chicken. Friday, catfish, whole fried catfish, and on and on and on. Woo, yummy goodness, tummy goodness, to my tummy goodness. So, yeah. So I love to have a place like that to come to every now and then. It's not a everyday thing or an every week thing, but it's just once in a time, once in a while. I'll spin that dough, and get me some grub from this awesome place. So, what do we have? I want to show you the food. Then we'll talk about that for a minute, and then we'll get into some funny story. I want to tell y'all funny story. So I have barbecue. Don't want to drip it all over me. Some barbecue. Some that smells good. Some barbecue pork and some green beans and some awesomely cooked macaroni and cheese. Not all the best, healthiest choices, but not all bad necessarily. Um, we got some utensils. One napkin. These little things, yeah, not the perfect amount, definitely. Mark, they didn't do well on these types of things. But, so we are finally monetized on the Brainstorm Challenges channel. And every now and then we'll do these random lives. Why not? We get good Wi-Fi. I'm going to eat anyway. And most likely going to sit in my truck and eat. So why not do a live and share with y'all some yummy goodness to my tummy goodness. Now look at that. Put a little barbecue sauce on that pork, that pulled pork yummy goodness. Aren't you jealous yet? Oh, yes. Why am I always wearing the purple shirt, you might ask? Or maybe you don't. But I'm always wearing the purple shirt because A, it's my favorite color, and B, it's the one I keep in the truck usually when I need a shirt. Just randomly throw it on, put it over my work shirts that I don't want to get messy. And that's hot. Savory. Sometimes I get this barbecue with rice. I wasn't feeling that today. Just wanted to get two sides and a meat. Not too bad, about $11. Gonna spend that. I'm getting a meal combo at most places. Look, let's do. Got some macaroni, barbecue on one, and some cream beans on another. The perfect bite. We're always in search. Us round, rotund, fluffy fellas, we like to search for that perfect bite. Some people might argue to the contrary, that food should not touch. It's separated for a reason, right? To me, it's going in the same hole, so we're all good. So, this is sort of a storytime mukbang. True stories. They got me a Pib Zero to wash it down with. When I get on these lives like this and share with y'all, we talk about a lot of different things about the channel, about life in general. And when nobody comes on, and eventually somebody does. But when nobody comes on, I always wonder, did I set it up right? That's all right. That's okay. Did you know that in lives like this and in premieres, for if a channel's monetized, you can actually submit a donation? a super chat or a sticker. That's kind of cool. If you want to submit one, be the very first person to submit a super chat of any monetary donation or a sticker of any monetary donation, I will mark your name and your channel and or both in the annals of Brainstorm Challenges history. You'll be the very first person to have ever done so, and forever shouted and kudoed in future videos and future lives. So, putting that out there, guys. If you want to give me a big old donation, by all means do so. I don't usually talk about stuff like that, but I'm not going to turn it down because we're trying to get there. Ooh. So, I know y'all know this. I love it when they get this crust of cheese. Let's take a look at that. Look at that beautiful, colorful orange truck crust of cheese. You probably can't see it so well because it's really sunny. It's a little warm too. Ooh, let's get a little bite of that first. That's so good when they melt that cheese and it gets a little crusty. Oops, somebody's watching. Don't forget to hit me the thumbs up, guy or gal. And I'll put it out there again if no one's seen it. If you are the first person to have donated to my channel through a live stream or through a premiere, the first person will be that first person that I will shout and hallelujah for quite a long time. It doesn't matter what amount. Anyway. So, two stories, like I said in the title, are the funniest stories. And I have two stories, really. They only relate in terms of the characters and maybe the type of thing that was involved with it. I've actually told these stories in past videos that I first posted when I started this channel. So those stories exist out there already. And some of you may have heard these stories or know these stories. So forgive me. I think they're really funny and I like to share them with y'all again. Maybe they'd be even funner in the retelling because things kind of blossom and evolve on their own, don't they? But the first story, they all involve a lawnmower. See, back when I was young, my dad and I and my brothers and sisters and mom, and to a varying degree, some of us were always cutting grass during the summer for extra money. We cut the church grass. We cut the church people's grass that paid us. And this one lady in particular, I'll never forget her. She was something. She had us cut her grass, and she had these big old oak trees in the front of her yard. And we had just gotten this. I mean, usually, of course, we had push mowers. Even cutting the big old churchyard and the graveyard, we would cut it with push mowers. And it wasn't a whole lot of money, but it seemed like a lot of money back then, you know, because every little bit helps, right? So we had the push mowers, but we had started getting, my dad had gotten into buying riding lawnmowers. And he first gotten this brand new lawn chief. Brand new lawn chief. It was state of the art at the time, top of the line. Not the cheapest you can buy, but right along there. And he was letting me drive it. We were using it, one of the first times we were using it at this lady's house. And it had really touchy brakes. And I hadn't really driven and used a riding lawnmower a whole lot, but I had before. And of course, you know, I'm lazy, especially when I was younger. I would like to sit down and cut it. He didn't care. He did the weed eating. He did whatever was necessary. But I was on this new lawn chief, and I was sitting there driving around, having a good old time, listening to music on a Walkman. Yep, Walkman. That tells you how far back that was. Barbecue. My dad's off doing whatever he was doing. And I stop at this big old oak tree. Now, the oak tree had a whole lot of gnarly roots at the bottom. I mean, they were gnarly. And every time I drive by that house, to this day, I remember the story, and that tree is still there, even though the resident has passed on and it's belonged to somebody else. It's just time and places bring back memories. And I was driving by there the other day, which what reminded me of the story. So, all these gnarly roots, I stopped just short of the tree, the front tires on the lawnmower, and like come to a jerk because, wow, those brakes are real sensitive. So I'm adjusting something. I'm like leaned over, adjusting the blade depth or something, just kind of looking it over really. And my foot slips off the brake. And of course, when it slipped off the brake, it just took off. And that used those gnarly roots on that bottom of that tree like a ramp. And did like a Duke boy sideways up that tree. With that powerful engine on the back of that lawnmower, it was going to go up that tree. The only thing that stopped me from going up the tree with that lawnmower was gravity. Because I sincerely felt like it happened so fast, but I sincerely felt like whoop up the tree, vertical position, and I felt almost like I would have made it. Except gravity was a lot stronger. And then I felt gravity tugging me backwards. And the lawnmower's still going, because I'm still sitting on it at this point, going backwards with me. And the only thought in my mind was, oh, I'm going to die. This lawnmower's going to cut my head off. That was the only thought I could have at that moment. But I remember it vividly. Fell backwards because it kind of pivoted, because it didn't really go very high on the back end where the engine was really heavy. And it just kind of pivoted backwards, slammed me on the bottom of the ground, which was thankfully a softer grassy ground, and knocked the wind out of me. And when the lawnmower come with me, because I'm holding onto the wheel the whole time, slammed against my chest. It was lucky I didn't break something. And at that instant, it hit me. I managed to push it off over on its side. And at that point, I kind of pushed it away enough that the kill switch under the seat, the seat come up, and the kill switch killed the lawnmower and it went off. So I managed to throw the lawnmower off of me to the side. And I'm laying upside down, looking towards the barn that's off in the distance. And here comes my dad running. I see him running upside down towards me, laughing. Not laughing, but he wants to laugh, I can tell. I'm looking at him, I see him coming towards me, I think, good, Dad's here to leave me my last rites, because I don't know what happened. And he comes up, I see him step over me, in this kind of way people step over you in the movies and you see them. He's like, "You still alive?" And I said, "No." And he saw that I was alive and I wasn't severely injured, apparently. He didn't know. But he saw all that in a few seconds and he started laughing really hard, started cackling. And I'm like, "It ain't funny." And he's like, "Son, when I saw you was a breathing, I thought it was pretty dang funny because I saw you try to climb that tree." And ever since then, he would tell the story about his tree mowing boy. We'd be standing in a line at Walmart. Dad didn't know strangers. Strangers were only friends you hadn't met yet. If he didn't know you already, because he was a carpenter that worked for 40, 50 years in this region, built so many businesses and houses, worked on so many things, knew so many people. If we didn't know you already, he was going to know you in the few minutes we were standing in line. And yeah, he's like, "You ever seen a tree mowing boy?" And I'd be like, "Oh, here we go again." And he'd laugh and tell that story from his perspective. And from his perspective, it was the funniest thing he had ever seen. Now, I didn't think it was so funny back then, but it is hilarious now in retrospective. I sure do miss my dad and those adventures having with him. I try to have fun, crazy adventures like that with my own kids. Something for them to remember. I like to make these videos, and this is why I started my YouTube channel, really to capture these moments, to make these videos, to share these stories, to share these experiences, these food loving, craving, liking, and something for them to be able to see on down the road. I wish I had, for my own dad to share. All I have is my memories and my pictures and my faded Swiss cheese brain, but there are good memories, and that's definitely one of them. The lawnmower was fine. We picked it up, folded it over. It was fine. Cranked right back up, and we finished that grass. Now another story I'll tell you about a lawnmower. It's even funnier because it's absurdly ridiculous. We had a lot of different adventures. Well, these are the ones that stick out in my mind as the funniest. So I was my daddy's tree mowing boy. My dad had bought this secondhand trailer. Had a really good metal frame that somebody had welded together, but you can tell it was a homemade job. But it was really good. And he put some pressure treated plywood and bolted them to the side so it was up high in the front. Made a gate that he could pull off and on. And we would put the ride lawnmower and the push mower and the weed eater and all the stuff, and it would fit in this trailer. He would painted it black. Hooked it up to his old Chevy. And we tow it around everywhere. That's how we get stuff to places, and cut the churchyard, cut the slaves grass, upteeth half dozen other people that we did at one time most summers. It was just good times. I wouldn't have told you that back then, probably, in the sweating and the hot sun, but it was good times. I wish I had those memories captured in more than this mental meat up here in the gray matter. But such is life. So make those memories and share them while you can, guys. It really, you don't know, because when they're gone, they're gone. We always look back in our memories as rosy colored anyway. It's funny how we remember things right and other people remember them differently. But this particular story, we were coming from the church. We had just cut the church grass, and we were just booking along. My dad was not a fast driver. I'm not a fast driver, probably because of the same reason. He just liked to see where he was going, and we wasn't in a hurry. So he was puttering along, and I'm sitting on the passenger side, just kind of looking over, shooting the breeze with him, chewing the fat, making jokes, whatever stuff we did. We weren't too far from the church. We were passing some cow field. Familiar houses, familiar people. I knew people that lived there. You just know them, and because it's your place, just where you're from. So we feel this jerk in the truck. And Dad didn't say nothing, and I kind of like, what was that? It was kind of weird. It was a jerk. A very physical jerk, like he'd ran over something, but no, he hadn't run over something. So I'm like, well, I turned to look at him like this, and I said, what was that? And he looks at me just briefly, and I'm still looking at him, and I see the black trailer. Now, mind you, this is just a trailer that's attached to the hitch and has two wheels in the center. To pivot. So it either laid backwards or laid forwards. But it had come, the welds on the hitch. The hitch part was still attached to the ball of the hitch. But the metal part had slid off, broke off. And the trailer, I looked over, was passing us. I saw the rod lawnmower. It hit through his window, because he had his windows down. And I saw the lawnmower. It was almost like I looked over, and he didn't see it at first. He was looking at me like my hair was on fire. And I was looking at the whole situation and thinking, like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? The lawnmower and the trailer was passing us. Trying to. And I no more try to point it. I'm like, look, the lawnmower. He turns his head just in time to see it, and almost like, what the oh boy? That's his favorite phrase, oh boy. And I look up to see this white car coming on that side of the road. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that trailer is going to hit that car. And the people in the car, obviously frightened, see the trailer coming at them. This probably happened all in maybe 10 seconds. But it felt like 3 hours. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So, the trailer's passing, this car's coming. I'm like, oh my God. And on that field, there was a field of cows there with a barbed wire fence. And the car veers off. There's a lot of space between the edge of the road and that barbed wire fence of grass and a little bit of an incline. So it veers off to avoid getting hit by the trailer onto the grass. But while the trailer seemed to me, anyway, from my perspective, had been going straight when it was passing us, almost became a heat-seeking missile when it locked onto that car. When the car became an equation and the trailer realized it's trying to avoid me, it locked on, took off after that car onto the side of the road. Almost missed it. If they had been kept going straight, if they had not veered off inside the road, they kept going straight, and it had done what it did, they would have missed it completely. But because they veered off, because the trailer and the lawnmower and stuff didn't like that, it veered off, clipped the backside of that car, the bumper really, kind of jerked it around a little bit. So they were pointing at us, because we were stopped at that point. That had skirts to a stop, because he don't go very fast anyway. It didn't take much effort. Threw it in park. The trailer ran off into the field, chasing some cows away. They were munching on some mush, mud, cud, whatever. It tore through that barbed wire fence, right into the field where it stopped. Well, you can imagine. We were very concerned about the folks, because there was a mom and a dad and a kid with them. We went and checked on them. My dad did. And I was freaking out in the truck, so I stayed in the truck for the moment. And he checked on them. They were all okay physically. The car wasn't even that damaged. It wasn't damaged at all. But they're all visibly shaken, obviously. And he goes to me, he's like, son, take the mama and the kid to such and such house. It's apparently someone that we knew and they knew at the same time. They were actually going to their house to visit them. He's like, take the truck. This truck hadn't been in no accident. Take the truck, because I was at driving age, I guess. I don't remember. But I take the truck and take them to so-and-so's house and drop them off. So I do that, and they're freaked out. They don't know what to say. The kid's freaked out. And I'm like apologizing and like don't know what to say. So it wasn't that far away. So I took them there, dropped them off, and then I went to about, they didn't have cell phones back then. Thank God. I wish I didn't now. But I went to another person's house that I knew from church and used their phone to call the police. Well, the mom and the mom had already called the police too. So the local area police knew, had already gotten the call, and they had already sent someone, they said. So by the time I got back, there was a state trooper already there. A state trooper already there talking to my dad and talking to the other guy, assessing the damage and kind of chatting over what they imagined it caused all that stuff to happen, Simpler days, simpler times. Because I don't remember much being said or done. I'm going to open this door because it's hot. Let some cool air in. It might be a little noisy, but that's all right. Trade-offs. But he got, I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember a lot was said. I know they probably exchanged information because it was an accident or whatever. The state trooper, the guy left because his car was in operating order. My dad kind of drugged I think I helped him, and the cop guy helped us as well, drag the trailer out of the cow field. And the only thing I remember them saying, I went back and sat in the truck. I remember the state trooper going, I think that if they hadn't veered off on the shoulder of the road, it would have missed. And my dad, without missing a beat, of course, said, I don't know. I think it was after him for a reason. he was always saying stuff like that. He couldn't be one-liners. He couldn't be one-upped in the comedy area. And that's probably where I get it from, honestly, my sense of humor. But the state trooper was like, just make sure you fix that fence. And my dad just went over there and put the barbed wire fence back up. And it was like it had never been damaged except for the rough patches in the field. And you can see where the tires had skidded across the grass. And he knew the farmer who owned the fields, and they talked about it later. He said, it was no big deal. But I'm sure all the insurance companies and all not whatnot worked it out. But that lawnmower and all that stuff, we loaded what we could in the back of the truck, in the bed of the truck, took it home. My mom was like, "What happened? Where's the trailer?" And my dad said, "It's all outside the road." And he told her what happened, and she didn't believe him. But yeah, it happened. He got it fixed, and we used that trailer for years and years on. But I always will never forget looking over and seeing that lawnmower and that trailer passing us on the road. And it's a testament to my dad's slow driving, probably. Um, but it was funny. It was hilarious. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this lunch too. I'm gonna let y'all go because I've rambled on long enough. I hope y'all enjoyed this funny story. I love sharing stories with y'all. And like I said, I've shared this before in a video, but I wanted to share it again for posterity and a live lunch story time. We'll maybe do these more often when I get opportunities. Y'all have a blessed day. Have a great day. Don't forget to feel the sunshine on your face and a cool breeze on your back wherever you can, guys, because life is about the moments, about the memories, about the good people and the friends that we make and the family. You can't choose your family, but thank God, God knows better than we do, right? Thank y'all for supporting this channel. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button whenever you can. Don't forget to leave me a comment below and share some awesome memories that you had, some funny stories. I'd love to hear them. And let me know what kind of videos you'd like me to do in the future. We have some more videos coming up today. I'm getting into this whole chug business, and I like doing the chugs. We're doing the subscriber shoppers. I've got an interesting subscriber shopper video coming up next week. Y'all check that out, all right, guys? And I'm glad to spend this time with y'all and hang out with y'all. Y'all have a blessed day again. I want to finish eating my lunch, y'all. Y'all have some good lunch too, okay? Whew, it's hot. See ya. You sure you want to stop streaming? Why, yes.